Sad truth, based on the funded trader, only 1 out of 20 traders that apply for funding actually pass the challenge. Out of those that pass the challenge, only 20% of those get a payout, which means just 1% of people who apply for funding actually make money. 1%. So the question is, how can we actually change that? And just your luck, that's why I made this video, to show you not only how I get funding, but how I get consistent payouts month after month. I did so many interviews with Apex now that I've started winning prizes just for the interviews. So let's peel back the curtain and show you the steps that I take to change this curve into your favor. Now, to understand how to profit from this, you need to first understand the game. So what are prop firms and how do both parties benefit? Both parties being the client, who is the trader, and then the prop firm. So the trader can benefit by first having access to capital that they couldn't otherwise afford. All right, I don't have $50,000, $100,000 of my own money to throw into the markets. So for a small fee from $33 to maybe 200 change, depending on the company, I can have access to $50,000, $250,000, $300,000 with Apex to trade in the market, okay, which I couldn't otherwise afford or want to take the risk, which leads to the other thing, which is limiting my risk. All right, I'm not putting up my $20,000 of hard-earned money that I built up over the years. I can just pay $33 with Apex and get a $50,000 account. If I blow the account, so be it. I lost $33, not $50,000. The other thing, and maybe the most attractive, is scalability. With companies such as TopStep, Tradeify, and of course Apex, you can now leverage accounts, compounding them. So if you pass multiple challenges, say 20 with Apex, instead of only making $200, now 200 times the 20 accounts I have, now I have a $4,000 day. Much more attractive than just trading my own money or having one account with a normal firm. Now on to the prop firm. How do they benefit? Now remember the stat that I said in the beginning of the video. While only 1% of traders make money from the prop firms, the prop firm makes money off the 99% of people that fail the challenges and don't get these payouts. And they continue to make it harder on the failing trader by implementing all these difficult rules, such as no news trading, no dollar cost averaging, consistency rule. These rules put you in a box. The threshold, of course. All right, these are the rules that continuously make the failing trader continue to fail. All right, which is good for their business plan. And also even with Tradeify and TopStep, even they even make money off of the profitable trader by, once you show consistency, they turn you into a live account, which they now book you, and now they're making money off of that trader. So not only are they making money off the 99% that fail, now they're making money off of the 1% who show consistent profit. So yeah, they paid them out for 30 days, but after 30 days, now they're making money along with you. So really, essentially making money off of 100% of people who are actually applying for funding. Now here's the problem. Although prop firms give you access to the capital that you need in order to make a promising career out of trading, you can't go all in until you have a consistent strategy of your own, or else you're going to turn into more of a degenerate than a profitable trader. Okay, so here's a few steps that I took in order to turn my trading consistent, while I'm able to profit consistently month after month. First, we're going to keep your risk small to start. I would say at least 1 to 3 micros to start off until you pass the threshold or even get your first payout. Let's take a 50K account as an example. With Apex, that's a $2,500 drawdown. Now, if you lose $2,500, you breach your account, which means you don't have a 50K account. It's actually a $2,500 account in disguise. So you want to manage it as such. Don't stay away from minis, okay, because that's $20 a point, and the indices in futures move very fast. It moves hundreds of points per day. So let's give ourselves some time to build a buffer on the account. Micros are $2 a point. That's more than enough to have good profitability and manage your account through some losses in case you have it. Okay. Next, I want to say that the most important thing about trading is your risk. You are a risk manager. So worry about your downside. The upside will take care of itself. Okay. Which brings us to the next thing. Have a specific model where you have a defined risk. So I'm not going to get into the tutelage of models here, but for example, I use an inverse fair value gap. So if price closes on one side of that gap, I'm in the trade. Okay, and I define my risk by if price goes to the other side of the gap after I entered, I'm out of the trade. Okay. Maybe if you trade normal retail traders, if they get in at a lower high, they may put their stop at the very next at the lower high that was the previous low high. So that risk is defined. All right. You always want to have a model that allows you to define your risk easily. Number 4, limit your time on the charts. The more of a time you spend on the charts is the more chance of you becoming a degenerate, and degens are not profitable. Decipher a time that is most ideal of you trading and stick to that time window. Be patient for your A+ trade setups. Trust me, your P&L will thank you. For new traders and expert traders alike, I would recommend to find a community. One thing that's different about the new school of traders as opposed to old school, trading is lonely. You have no one to bounce ideas off of. I'm sure your wife don't know nothing about trading, your friends, your mother, so it's very lonely and depressing in these trading days, especially when you take a loss. Rather than in the old school, traders are in the pit, everyone know each other. You might bounce ideas off one another, share news. Someone tells you some news that's happening that you may not know. It's a community. So, you have communities in Discord, maybe join a Facebook group, maybe an in-person group downtown, stuff like that. If you look in, Google Meet or something like that, join a community. So, you have someone social to talk to about and maybe even learn from. A community is very good in this space. And lastly, I would say, never stop learning. My boxing coach used to always tell me, if you don't progress, you shall digress. All right. Never stop learning. Always sharpen your tools, practice your art. Okay. Because if you don't use it, you will lose it. All right. And not to mention, the market is always changing. What may work for you this year may not work for you next year. Okay. And as we see these times with the Trump's tariffs, you have to adapt and do different things, like being that the market volatility is very big swings in the market. We have to dial down our risk. Okay. Those who didn't adjust and dial down their risk, they blew up their accounts. Okay. So always learn, guys. Follow all of these rules that I set out for you today, because that's how I became profitable. So in conclusion, guys, we spoke about keeping your risk to a minimum until you pass threshold or maybe get your first payout. All right. The most important thing is your risk. Worry about your downside. The upside will take care of itself. Have a specific entry model where your risk is defined. Okay. Limit your time on the charts, because you will ultimately become a degenerate. Find a community, because it's very lonely at home by yourself with your wife that don't know nothing about trading. And lastly, never stop learning. Guys, follow these things that I told you about, and you you would remain profitable. All right. If you feel that I missed anything, feel free to leave in the comments. And if I helped you guys out at all, please like and subscribe. Talk to you guys next time.